way. Here's Pierre.
Tonight, ABC News given access to an immigration raid played out just before dawn near Baltimore.
Trump ain't playing, boy.
Along with a tactical team led by ICE officers, along with ATF and the DEA. They're on a mission. Within minutes, we're on stakeout.
So we have 4 targets so far this morning. The first target is convicted of robbery.
2 hours go by as agents stalk the first suspect. Suddenly, it's go time. Police surround the suspect, who they say tried to escape. We see him sitting on the curb, handcuffed. 90 minutes later, ICE arresting another suspect in Baltimore. They say a convicted drug dealer who sold fentanyl and cocaine. He's among the more than 1,000 ICE arrests of undocumented migrants in the last 24 hours. The standpoint of ICE is simple. If you've been convicted of those kind of crimes, you're now leaving the country. But ICE acknowledges some undocumented migrants who don't have convictions are also being arrested.
Yeah, so the worst go first.
Everyone's on the table, so if we go arrest this dude and there's another person next to him who's also here illegally, we're going to start asking questions. And, if we determine that person's illegal, they're coming with us.
Arrests taking place across the country. In Colorado today, federal agents say they detained a suspected member of a notorious Venezuelan gang. And tonight, the breaking headline: President Trump directing the Pentagon and DHS to prepare to hold up to 30,000 undocumented migrants at Guantanamo Bay before they are eventually deported back to their home countries. The Pentagon says they will not be held in the well-known detention facility that David toured in 2016, where some of the 9/11 terrorists have been held.
We can actually see the detainees. They cannot see us back through this glass.
And that moment from the roof when the prisoners did see us. Tonight, 15 detainees are still there. The president today also signed the bipartisan Laken Riley Act into law, requiring the detention of undocumented immigrants charged with crimes, but not yet convicted. The law named after the case that made national headlines. Laken Riley, a 22-year-old nursing student, murdered by an undocumented migrant while jogging in Georgia. Today, Laken's mother, Allison, emotional.
There's no amount of change that will ever bring back our precious Laken. Our hope moving forward is that her life saves lives.
David, tonight, ICE officials are unapologetic. They say there are thousands of undocumented migrants who've been arrested and convicted of serious felonies and violence. They say they're coming for them, David.
And very moving words from that mother today, Pierre. Thank you. Tonight, there's also breaking news involving President Trump's move to freeze funding for federal aid programs affecting millions of Americans after 48 hours of confusion over programs like Head Start and Meals on Wheels and the Medicaid portal being shut down for a time. Tonight, an about-face from the White House, rescinding that funding freeze. Here's Mary Bruce.
After 48 hours of chaos and concern that millions of seniors and children would lose aid programs they count on, tonight a stunning about-face from the Trump administration, now rescinding its sweeping directive to temporarily freeze trillions of dollars in federal funding that could have had major impacts.
We are merely looking at parts of the big bureaucracy where there has been tremendous waste and fraud and abuse.
But the president still hasn't specified what funding exactly he wants to cut. The freeze designed to follow through on his executive orders to overhaul government spending, but the move immediately sparking questions. The Medicaid portal going down for a time in the confusion, though the White House now saying it wasn't even supposed to be affected by the freeze, leaving Americans wondering what comes next. Monsignor Alfred Lapinto from Catholic Charities in New York, one of the organizations that administers Head Start, worried.
The most immediate threat would be in our child care programs.
Steve Monroe from Virginia, one of the 2.2 million seniors that relies on Meals on Wheels, says he would be devastated.
Doing something to stop or cut the organization off is going to hurt thousands of people.
Still this morning, the White House was adamant.
The American people should not be confused about this.
But just hours later, in that 2-sentence memo, the administration rescinding the freeze in funding. The White House still insists the president's plan to root out spending that doesn't align with his agenda, like diversity, equity, and inclusion programs, climate initiatives, and foreign aid, will be rigorously implemented. But tonight, a federal judge struggling to decipher what the White House's intention is, vowing to block any kind of funding freeze going forward. This is more than 2 million federal employees have been given a stark choice via mass email: resign and be paid until the end of September, or risk losing their jobs. Those interested in the buyout told to respond with the word